What's going on, everybody? It's Boo Snooker here, and today I just wanted to upload the gameplay of a DNA bomb I recently achieved. The gameplay itself is pretty self-explanatory. I won't talk too much about what's going on, but I will point out a couple of things that I am doing. But before I do that, the DNA bomb is at about 6:35 minute mark in this video. If you guys are just looking for the DNA bomb itself, they call it a manticore whenever I call it in. If you were wondering what the guy says, I actually didn't know that's what they call it, but apparently that's from the story, the campaign. So it's a manticore is what that guy calls it whenever I call it in. But I was pretty lucky for some of these players who were in this lobby because I made some pretty dumb decisions at some points in time in this game mode, and as you'll see, like right there, I feel like I probably should have died. Some person just randomly sliding for no reason. Uh, I feel like some of these guys might have not had like thumbs or something because I won a couple gun battles that I really shouldn't have. But I like to play hardpoint for trying to get the DNA bomb. Now that's because for one, you have to have a game mode that's a longer duration, and there's a couple of game modes that do have long durations, such as Domination, but I feel like Hardpoint is the best because there's always a central tendency of every map, and like for instance, there's one hardpoint all the time. You can always assume, what in the direction that the players are going. They're going towards the hardpoint, and if you know the spawn, you can kind of get an idea of even where they're aiming towards. And so that's extremely helpful. Now, usually I like to just like roam around right around the outside of the hard point itself, but as you'll see right here, I was being really dumb. I actually get really lucky I didn't get killed up here soon because I was getting way too far away from the hard point, and I was getting in towards their spawn area. So I was really lucky that I ended up not dying. But yeah, I mean, like another game mode you could play for this is like Domination, but I feel like Domination, it has a lot less obviousness to it. You don't really can't really expect where the enemies are going to be going because there are three different points of central tendency in the map at all times. So that's kind of more difficult to work with. Now, the class that I use is an ASM-1 with a foregrip and red dot, and I do not use a secondary. Then my perks are Blast Suppressor and Toughness, Blind Eye, Lightweight, and Low Profile. Now, um, some people would use Scavenger if you're expecting to stay, alive for as long as it takes to get a DNA bomb. That way you can pick up ammo along the way. But I feel like the perks that are in the Scavenger slot are just way too essential. All my perks, that is, are too essential, to give up to get Scavenger. So rather, I just simply pick up another player's guns. As you saw earlier, I got really low on ammo, so I've picked up two different guns. Now, the only problem you have with this is getting iron sights, which I am just absolutely terrible. As you'll see right here, I got lucky. That guy was trying to take down the UAV with his stinger. My accuracy goes down tremendously with the iron sights. I really do rely on the red dot sights in this game. There's only like one gun that I like the iron sights with. So that is one thing you risk, but then again, running Scavenger, you do lose an essential perk, at least one that I believe is essential. And as you'll see here, this is a player that I feel like I probably should have died from, but luckily I did not. Now this hardpoint itself is actually one that I really enjoy, but as you saw there, I was really panicking. I thought I was going to die a couple times, so I really didn't get to the spot that I enjoy using. Um, right here is actually the spot. I like to sit behind this wall and just kind of pick people off as they go in towards the hard point, and you could duck back down into that wall whenever people start targeting you. And that's just like one of the perks that come with playing hardpoint. You find little spots around the hardpoint that you enjoy using. And as you'll see, I'll go over here and kind of sit behind this turtle rock. It's very useful. You can use it for cover and such. And there's a lot of spots where you can see enemies coming in towards the hardpoint. So that's just an example of the couple of perks of using or playing hardpoint. Now, I use UAV as my score streak, and I actually throw on threat detection, which it takes 700 points rather than 400 points, so it's 300 extra points. But whenever you're going for the DNA bomb, obviously you're going to get to 700 points if you're on a run, and you'll see, and as you've seen through this video, the threat detection is extremely useful. Now, one thing you want to be cautious about if you do use threat detection is that people who use low profile will not show up. As you'll see, all these red outlines of people. Now, at the very beginning of the game, when I did call in my first threat detection UAV, I kind of took a head count to see who was showing up on the UAV, and luckily, everybody in this game was not using low profile, so everybody was showing up on the UAV. And usually, if you get a little too comfortable with using a threat detection UAV, and there are people, which you can always assume there's going to be people who are using low profile. For some reason, nobody in this game was using it. But if you get too comfortable, looking through the walls, you kind of bypass people who are using low profile, and those people can end up killing you. So you want to be extremely cautious if you do use threat detection, because it can be enticing to just look at the people through the walls and kind of forget about the ones who are not showing up. Now, as you'll see, at the very beginning of the game, I used overclock to get behind the enemies, and that's kind of another perk of using playing hardpoint for the DNA bomb. You get a couple of quick kills off the bat, because if you can get behind, if you can go on the outside and get behind the players, you can usually pick up a couple points or kills, and then dip back in to cover, and that kind of gets you on a nice streak right off the bat. And so yeah, that's another reason why I like to use hardpoint. But just make sure if you're going to try to flank out behind them, you go like on the very outskirts of the map, and then go kind of flank around, because you can almost assume every time that they're not gonna come around the outskirts of the map for the first hardpoint. You usually go straight into the middle, because it's usually at the middle. But here I get the DNA bomb, and it wipes out the entire team. And the rest of this video is just to show that we finished out the game. As you see, we were down 38 points when I did call in the DNA bomb, but I like to play with friends while I go for the DNA bomb, because obviously I wasn't being very objective based whatsoever while I was going for the DNA bomb. And so you want to play with people who are, if you really do pride in winning. Like, I'm extremely competitive, and I still want to win the game. So usually whenever I do this, I do try to play with friends. That way I know they can keep us in the game while I am going for this. And then once I do get it, or if I'm on a long streak and I end up dying, I'll just kind of call it quits then, so I can kind of get back into the game mode and try to win the game. But the rest of this video is just showing that we end up coming through with the win. And thanks in large part to my teammates, for holding on the fort while I was going for the DNA bomb. And yeah, so that's just about it of the video. Just wanted to throw out the DNA bomb gameplay for you guys, and so that's about it. Rate the video, subscribe if you want to see more Call of Duty gameplay, as well as NBA gameplay and other sorts of Xbox One games. Thank you guys, have a good one.
Hostiles have captured the hard point. Hard point identified. Hard point is ours. Hard point contested. UAV ready. Train control. Hard point contested. Hostiles have captured the hard point. Friendly UAV above. Hard point contested. We've lost the advantage. Hard point contested. We're losing this fight. We're taking control. Hard point identified. Friendly UAV above. Hard point secured. Hard point contested. Walking care package ordered. Our UAV is online. Recon drone deployed. Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint contested. Nice.